Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome to our Wednesday weekly live chat. I'm so happy to be here with you. As you're joining, make sure you say hello if you want. If you're on YouTube watching the live, I can usually see your name. If you're on Facebook watching the live, just give me your name when you say hi because I usually can't see them. How is everyone today? So, today I want to talk about psychic readings and whether or not you need one. So I'm going to jump into that in just a minute. There's a lot of misconceptions about what psychic readings are, what they aren't, and how do you know when it's time for you to have a reading versus when it's time not to have a reading or when it's something that you can kind of handle yourself. Some people spend a lot of time going back and forth about whether they should get a reading or whether they need a reading. Is it time for a reading? So I'm going to just give you a little bit of perspective and some stuff to consider on that. While everyone is still joining, I'm going to give a couple announcements really quick and then we'll get right into it. I've got a few notes that I want to touch into for this little chat. So don't forget this Saturday, which is May 13th. Yeah, today's the 10th. If you're watching live, the 13th, we've got a live demonstration of mediumship. Tickets are still available. There are a couple posts on my Facebook as well as my Instagram, all of it at Joyful Medium. Or if you're in the Joy Soul Spa Facebook community, you guys are my personal community. So I try to get to you guys first. The link is still up. If you can't find the link, you can go to my website, joyfulmedium.com/events. Tickets are available for a couple more days, and then we're going to cut them off so I can send all the links out. If you've already bought tickets, I'm so excited to have you. Make sure you watch your email. I'm going to be sending the link out in just a couple days. It's live on Zoom, so it's going to be a private Zoom room, and Kelly and I are going to give messages and validations from loved ones in the spirit world. So that is coming up on Saturday. Hey, Kyle, good to see you. If you still want tickets for that, make sure you get that. Spirit Speakeasy is my podcast, which a new episode is live every Monday. This Monday, I shared something I don't normally share, which is I'm calling it ghost stories, but essentially a spirit woman, from the other side who has been visiting me at home. She's not someone that's in my family or someone I know. So in this week's episode, gave kind of the whole story of what happened, how I started communicating with her, and the validations that she's given me that I've been able to look up like in a concrete way online. Hey, Facebook user, if you're Facebook, just say your first names. I know who you are. I can't see your names. It's good to see you. Okay, so we've got the event coming on Saturday. If you want tickets for that, website, joyfulmedium.com/events. We've got Spirit Speakeasy, which is live every week. I have so many exciting episodes coming up for you. So make sure that you are getting that every Monday. And if you are enjoying the podcast, please subscribe so you never miss an episode. I'm pretty excited about everything that's coming forward with it. But today I want to dive into this chat around, do you need a psychic reading? First, I want to talk a little bit about the difference between psychic and mediumship. I do both. All mediums are also psychic. Not all psychics are mediums. So mediumship is when we're connecting with someone that's already crossed over to the spirit world. They've left their physical body. They are now on the spirit side, whether they are a person or a pet. It's my soul blending with the soul of someone who is, we call it disembodied, or who's already crossed over to the spirit world, blending with their soul, understanding information that they want to share, stories about their life, details about their personality, really whatever it is they want to share with their loved one who is my sitter. Psychic is different. Psychic is the energy of my soul blending with the energy of your soul or my recipient, whoever that is, whoever my client is in that appointment. So what can psychic work do? Essentially, by blending into the energy of your soul, the psychic, me, or whoever you're working with, should be able to start discerning information about you, about your personality, about your life choices. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear my washing machine on spin cycle right now, but you're in my real life, guys. So when we're discerning that information, my intention anyway, and the way I'm trained is to allow myself to be moved to the greatest need in that person's soul in that moment. Now, let's talk about why someone might come in for a psychic reading, like why you might need a reading or want a reading, and why you might not. First, I do like to explain to people that psychic is not about predicting the future. So if you are trying to bypass, your human life and saying like, I just want to predict the future, who's going to be my partner, tell me what they're going to look like, how tall are they, what color hair do they have, where am I going to find them, and on what day. Well, that's not real. And anyone who's promising you that, you might want to take a double look at their credentials, because the future is not predetermined for us like that. There's not one person that we're assigned to meet in the future and we can predict exactly what they're going to look like. We're meant to encounter many people in our lives. So future is not predicted. We control or change or bring forward our future as we make choices in the present. So sometimes, for example, choices that you made last year are affecting your life this year. But it doesn't mean that everything is predetermined for you from here on out. So psychic is not really about predicting the future. It's really about helping you make choices in the now. And I'm going to talk a little more concretely about that, but I'm going to give you just a general understanding of the areas of life that people come in for a psychic reading for. Now, the first one is health. I don't do necessarily a ton of physical health readings. That's more of a medical medium, although sometimes I can understand bits of things. It's just not I don't love to specialize in that area. I feel like doctors are to tell us about our health. Sometimes we can discern and understand additional pieces to that. But health is so many things besides just our physical health, right? So health is one main area, self or personal journey. And what that can look like is choices we're making in our day-to-day life. Maybe we're going through a big personal transition of some sort. Relationships. And remember, it's relationships of all kinds. It's our relationship with people in our lives, our relationship with the work that we do, our relationship with spirit, right? Any kind of relationship is under this umbrella. People come in for guidance around home and family. So that could look like your physical home, like you're wondering, is this the ideal time to sell my home? Is it time for me to be looking for a new home? Can I redecorate my home? That kind of a thing. Or family, meaning the family that lives at home with you or your family of origin. So sometimes we have questions about, our kids or our partner, or we're processing emotions from the parents that we grew up with, that kind of thing. I'm looking at my notes, career and finance in the material world. So sometimes it looks like the job that we're wanting to move towards or a job that we're wanting to leave. Could look like our ideal career options, for example. It sounds like common sense maybe, but some people are more suited to certain jobs than others. So sometimes someone could be in a little bit of a crossroads of, trying to decide, do I want this kind of job or this kind of job? Or I'm in this field, but do I want to do, let's just say nursing, for example. Would it be ideal for me to do in-home nursing versus nursing in a hospital setting? So that's kind of career finances and the material world. Sometimes when we're trying to manifest something material, right? So people want information about that. Or the last kind of umbrella or pillar or bucket, if you will, is our spiritual journey, our higher self. Sometimes people want to know, what are the spiritual gifts that are coming next for me? Or they're having experiences that they don't quite understand, wanting to better understand their intuition versus their anxiety, for example. So really the way I usually encourage people is, if there's an area of your life that you feel like you just can't make a decision, or you've processed the emotions and looked at the situation lots of ways and you're still on the fence, or you're not sure, or you are in a life transition, for example, perhaps you have just recently been married or divorced. Perhaps you've gained or lost a job or a home or a partner. So any area of life transition, maybe it's just a personal transition where for a long time you were living your life one way and now those things just aren't fitting, or you're not feeling like the life you created resonates with you anymore. Sometimes people are coming in for guidance and information around that. if there's a persistent challenge or pattern that you're facing. I'm just thinking of one that I had recently, and my client identified their own patterns. So they were like, okay, I really am looking for a life partner. I really want to, have a partner and do life with. But I noticed that in the past, when I look over my past relationships and when I look over the relationships that I'm creating now, I keep seeing this pattern. I can't figure out why. I do want a different type of partner. I feel stuck. So that could be an example of why someone would need or want a reading. Really, the way I try to explain it to people is if you're trying to predict or control the future, right? If it's coming from a fear-based place of like, I don't want to take the chance that I might experience any heartbreak, right? I really only want to control the future. I only want to know what this person's going to look like. So I only look for them because I don't want my heart broken. Well, that's coming from a place of fear. And that's really just not the way it works. But if you're looking for perspective, if you're looking for clarity, meaning like, let's take the job example, right? Because I just worked with someone who had some questions around their career. Their role was changing, the company was changing, and they wanted to know what would be best for me. Do I stay in this company and try to like tough it out? Do I look for something else? Do I go off and do my own thing? So in a psychic reading, we can dive into each of those elements and get some understanding around the way that company's structured, for example, some of the decisions that have already been made, some of the potentials of what could possibly be shifting going forward, right? It's not predicting the future, it's getting more information so we can make a more clear, more informed decision. And sometimes when something is, the way I usually say it is like close to our heart, when we have a lot of emotion attached to something, or when we really care about an outcome, it can be hard or it can feel hard to be objective. It's why for me, sometimes I will have someone read for me on things, because sometimes if I'm feeling like something's really weighty, a decision's really weighty, I might feel like, oh, I'm too in my head about this. I just want someone from the outside to give me a more clear perspective. And that's the beauty of blending my soul with your soul, or the soul of the recipient, is I can start to understand not only details and facts about this job, for example, but about my sitter. Are they someone who feels more safe and secure in like a 9 to 5? Are they someone who has the colors in their auric field that they would do well owning their own business? Are they someone who's independent? Are they someone who is more, likes to be in someone else's structure or container, and they just want to go to work and be a worker bee because there's actually a passion that they have that they want different space for? So that's how it becomes even deeper on a personal level, is I'm also discerning things about their past, the jobs that they've had in the past leading up to this, what was happy or unhappy, what resonated or didn't resonate, the person that they are, what their dreams and goals are going forward. And sometimes it's elements that we haven't even considered that affect each other that do, if that makes sense. Like, for example, let's go back to that example of relationship, because sometimes people are coming in just because they want some guidance, right? And it could be around a relationship that they're already taking part in, or a relationship that they're wanting to take part in. And sometimes it's more deeply understanding ourself. Now, sometimes validation happens. And what do I mean by this? I mean, validation, for example, something you already kind of felt to be true within you, but you just weren't sure. Where I find this sometimes, like if someone feels like they're coming to the end of a relationship and they're not sure if that's the right choice for them, or if they're, are they missing something? Is there something they haven't considered? Now, a good psychic reader is never going to make your decisions for you. So they will not say, this is what you have to do, A, B, C, you have no other option, choose this, do it now. Like, that's not how it works. It's just giving you more perspective, more clarity, sometimes a bigger picture view, sometimes a more of a clear view about yourself, or even just pointing things to you, like, is considering all these things about your personality, is this what you really want? Or have you considered how you feel about this? So a good psychic can just see perspectives in you and around you as it relates to yourself, your path in life, and the choices you're making and the things you're engaging in or the things you want to engage in. So really, I usually encourage people the time to get a psychic reading. If you just keep thinking about it and you really want to, that's probably a good indication. But also if you're just needing, like I said, perspective, wanting some objective perspective, maybe you don't want your same friends to just give you their same opinion based on the biases that they know about you or about whatever that path is that you're curious about. Maybe it's just wanting some clarity about, okay, this is how I'm feeling. Am I on the right track here? For example, maybe you're needing a little bit of guidance. Maybe you've come, to a certain place in your path. You've come so far, and you're feeling like, okay, I just want some guidance for this next little section to direct, what my choices might be or what my options might be. If you're wanting support or validation, especially around a life transition or something that you've been working towards, or if something's shifted for you. Sometimes it can be a life transition in a way that there's a falling away, right? The end of a job or a relationship or the loss of a home, the loss of a person. But sometimes we can be in life transitions like within ourselves, right? I know we've talked about this before, but all of us as this caterpillar in the chrysalis trying to become these butterflies. So sometimes it's not necessarily that anything around us has changed, but maybe we've changed, or maybe we've evolved in some way, or maybe we realize, hey, this person's actually not a supportive friend. They're really mean to me. They talk really mean to me. They put me down. I'm feeling like this relationship doesn't resonate with me anymore, for example. So perspective, clarity, guidance, support, validation around any area of your life, not expecting to have the future predicted for you, because who wants that? Who wants the future to be already chosen for us? I like the idea of free will, that we're, as we choose now, we're setting ourselves up for the future. So sometimes it's even just some perspective of, well, how do you want to set this up for yourself for the future? And looking ahead a little bit at maybe what your soul's calling you to do. I'm thinking of someone in particular who was feeling really called to more of an artistic, spiritual pursuit. I'll say it that way. They wanted to start a business on a site like Etsy, that kind of thing, with an actual product that was spiritual based, that they just felt, oh, I really want to put this in the world. And so my work with them is helping them understand what need that was fulfilling within them, and sorting through some potentials and some options. So they had some different ways to move forward to consider. And then they have their free will choice to say, okay, actually, I feel like this is the best method of action steps for me. And sometimes it's just having someone help you figure out or feel how you can do both, how you can have a job and a side project, for example. So I hope this is making sense. I'm going to read into the comments. Again, if you're a Facebook user, I can't see your name, but hello to all the Facebookers out there. And someone said, you doing readings? I do offer readings. I'm not doing readings today live here with you guys. I do a weekly mini message from Spirit every Friday, both on I do one that's Facebook, YouTube, and my Joy Soul Spa Facebook group. And then I do another that is Instagram and TikTok, where I give a general message, personal readings. I would need you one-on-one to be able to move into your energy, right? So just seeing a made up name on a screen, I don't do readings that way, because I need the feedback to make sure that I'm understanding correctly, that I'm moving in the right direction, that I'm perceiving things properly. So I'm not doing readings live on here today, but you certainly can schedule with me through my website, joyfulmedium.com. I do one-on-one sessions, both in person here in California, as well as virtual. I work with clients all over the world. That brings me to my little last announcement. For those of you that are on the fence about considering wanting a reading, this is the last chance to get my 2019-2020 pricing. I am shifting the pricing. I sent out an email last week or a couple weeks ago about it. If you are someone who's dropped off my email VIP insiders list, you probably didn't hear this yet. But this week is the final chance to access that old pricing, that 1990, no, not $19.99. What year is this? It's the 2019-2020 pricing is what I still have. So that's going to be shifting. Obviously, we know everything has shifted in price, a sign of the times. All the platforms that I use to do these wonderful lives and all the free stuff have all gone up. So after several years, I'm needing to increase my pricing a little bit as well. For those of you who are not loving that idea, I will let you know that my friends and colleagues who have a similar or even sometimes a lower education level their sessions are more than double what mine are still. Even with the price increase, they'll still be more than double of me. So I try to keep it kind of reasonable. But you can purchase that now and schedule it anytime for the rest of the year. So if you are wanting to do like a Mother's Day gift or a Father's Day gift or wanting a check-in for yourself, maybe you're at a crossroads or a transition, maybe you're wanting to understand more about your own spiritual gifts and potentials that you could move towards. Maybe you are curious about your job path, or maybe you have a pattern that you've noticed in your own life or a relationship that you're just wanting some clarity around, or maybe you're wanting to create a new relationship. And some of it is just getting out of our own way a little bit and having an objective psychic reader be able to understand things about you without you telling us any information, more about you, who you are. The way we say it is, how do I want to say this? That the greatest expression of your soul in this lifetime, your greatest potential. So we all have potential, and we can make choices that are maybe not in alignment with our potential. And we don't even necessarily get to know what that end point is, right? Remember, it's not about predicting the future. It's not about saying if you do X, Y, Z, you're going to be a famous musician. It's not about that. It's about understanding the true expression of you, moving more actively towards that, sometimes getting some action steps and some validations, right? So I hope this makes sense. I hope you have a little more clarity around what psychic readings are, what they aren't, and when it's time to get one. I personally, just as my own self, not as a psychic medium, but just as like a person, I like to get them every so often, maybe a couple, 2-3 times a year, just to kind of check in, just to see, okay, am I on the right track here? Is there a blind spot, right? Is there something that I am unconsciously creating that I maybe don't know that I'm creating or recreating? Is there an emotion here that I'm not identifying that is kind of in my way or an impediment? So psychic readings can help with all of that. And, people often ask like, which is better or which is more powerful, psychic or mediumship? And the truth is, it really just depends on your need in that moment, in that like snapshot of time. If we've lost someone and they've crossed over to, everyone crosses over to the spirit world, but if we've lost someone who's now in the spirit world, perhaps needing to hear from them or needing validation or needing to know that they're safe and at peace, that might be the greatest need of your soul in that moment. But maybe you're at peace with all the loved ones you have. Maybe everyone's safe and you get signs from them and you're feeling okay about that. But maybe you've had a recent breakdown of a relationship, or maybe you're feeling like, I don't know why I'm not finding like the perfect partner for me. I don't know why I'm not finding a person. Or maybe you're wondering, is this all there is? Like, is this job really like, I'm not feeling fulfilled. What else? You know what I mean? So there could be lots and lots of reasons. I sometimes, as I tell you guys, we have all the answers within us, but sometimes we don't get out of our own way enough to let them rise up. And even me, I've been in this work for a lot of years now. There are sometimes things, that I just am not sure. I could see equal value in either path. I feel like, I don't know which of these is there something I'm not seeing? Is there something I'm not considering? Sometimes, like I said, when we care a lot about something, we're not the most objective person to like look at our own stuff. Kyle said, I just booked a session with you in June after my birthday. Can't wait. I'm so excited. Happy early birthday. So yeah, if you are wanting to take advantage of the live demonstration this weekend, that's going to be Saturday morning. So make sure you get your tickets for that if you want to join. It is You can find tickets joyfulmedium.com/events. If you are wanting a reading at the 2019-2020 pricing, make sure you schedule after Sunday. That pricing goes away. So you don't have to schedule it for this week. You could purchase now and schedule anytime for the rest of the year, or you can buy it as a gift certificate even. But if you are on the fence, that's my 2 cents. My pricing's changing a little bit after many nudges. And I actually, if you want to know the truth, I just got a lecture from my hairdresser yesterday. I love you, Tasia. that I am. What the heck am I doing? My prices are way too low, and that she was strongly encouraging me that it was more than time. So let me know if you have ever had a psychic reading, if you found value, if it really helped you in your life. If you had a good one, it should have helped you in some way or helped you understand yourself more deeply is often what it is. And sometimes it's just validating, okay, I was on the right track, and this direction that I'm moving is the best for me. And these are the elements to consider. And even if kind of like the message is you're right, you're on the right track, this is a great idea for you, we can also see some extra elements or action steps. You know me, I'm a big action steps gal, that you may or may not have considered, or potentials that might not have been on your list of options yet. There's a lot of great reasons to get a psychic reading. But if you are feeling that pull, right, it's more than just a curiosity, more than just I'm a little curious. It's like you're really feeling that pull or that nudge, or like you're wanting some guidance or support or validation or clarity or perspective, or you're wanting to know if there's something you're missing or blind spots, or why something, despite your like trying and taking action, and why something isn't moving forward for you. Anything like that, psychic readings can be really powerful, whether you work with me or another reputable, beautiful psychic. I highly recommend it when we're needing to process or in transition or feeling stuck, or when our soul is nudging us to do so. So I hope this has been valuable. If you haven't already checked out this week's Spirit Speakeasy, again, you will get to hear a private share that I'll tell you in the episode. I wasn't even sure if I was going to share it, but I did get some permission from my spirit friend. But it is me communicating with a soul that has been visiting me at home that's not someone in my family. And it's an interesting story. So check that out. And we've got some really good episodes, new episode every Monday. Join me Friday for the mini message from Spirit every Friday. I try to do them in the morning. But remember, I have a full schedule too. So I just try to do them as soon as I can in the morning. And then Saturday, we've got that live group reading event, which is going to be so exciting. Tickets are limited, but there are a handful of tickets left. So if you're on the fence about that, make sure you get them before Friday. And we've kept the ticket prices pretty low. So I'm excited to give evidence and details and messages to many attendees. Some of you already have gotten your tickets. So I've been getting those emails from those of you who are coming. I'm so excited to have you with me. Again, jump on this last chance for 2019-2020 pricing. If you are on the fence about a psychic reading or a mediumship reading, my pricing is the same for both. And sometimes both happen in the same session. It's up to Spirit, whatever Spirit wants to do. So big hugs, lots of love. If you have questions about psychic readings, drop them in the thread and I will try to find them. Check out my website, joyfulmedium.com. I've also got a free gift on there for you, for those of you that might not have seen it before, the Sign Magnet free 3-day mini course, which will help you get signs about questions. So, that's another option for you. If you don't feel ready for a reading, you can take the free 3-day mini course and learn how to get signs from the universe to help you validate choices and questions and things you're considering. So I hope you will take advantage of that free offer. Thanks for being here with me for our Wednesday live chat. It is always a pleasure to see all of you, and I hope you know that you are so appreciated and loved here. Big hugs, lots of love. Bye for now.